The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, January 6 to January 17, reveal that Victor Newman will try to threaten Ian Ward into leaving Genoa City, but Ian won't allow himself to be run out of town. Nevertheless, Victor will be convinced that Ian's going to screw up and will plan to bury him in the end. Nikki Newman will be terrified after a run-in with Ian during the week of January 6 to 10, but Victor will do his best to reassure her. Later, Victor will have some instructions for Michael Baldwin, who'll launch an investigation and seek more info on what Ian's been up to since he got out of prison. Could Michael be the one to figure out Ian's imposter trick that led to Jordan, Colleen's Inc., getting out of her facility? Meanwhile, Jordan will decide to make some rogue moves, starting with stashing Sharon in the sewer instead of drowning her in the river. It turns out Jordan will keep Sharon alive in case she needs to motivate Ian to fulfill his crisscross promises. Sharon will wake up terrified when she realizes she's trapped with no way out, but Nick Newman will be working hard to find her. The search for Sharon will bring some bold moves as Nick grows increasingly desperate. Over with Victoria Newman, she'll try to help Cole Howard decide whether he'll accept Victor's job offer. Victoria will vote for Cole to take the gig, but she'll make it clear that it has to be his decision alone. As for Phyllis Summers, she'll reach an agreement with Billy Abbott and perhaps fully commit to being a team player against Victor. However, Phyllis could land in disguise Jordan's path soon after and remember her as the woman who caused her crash. There are some hints to suggest Phyllis might become a captive alongside Sharon, so they may have to join forces. Back with Chelsea, she'll dish out some guidance during a conversation with Billy. Chelsea may have concerns about Phyllis and the potential for Billy's new partnership to derail his budding romance with Sally Spectra. Next, Ian will dare to shove his face at society again, but he won't get a warm welcome from Tessa Porter and Abby Newman there. Over with Claire Newman, her safety will be a concern for Nikki Newman. Ian won't want Claire tangled up in Ian's web, but she may become even more alarmed if Michael indeed figures out Jordan's on the loose. Across town, Jack Abbott will work to pry a confession out of Kyle Abbott. Will that be about Kyle's growing feelings for Claire, or perhaps the current state of his relationship with Diane Jenkins Abbott? In Los Angeles, Nate Hastings will sit down for a meeting with Damien and try to sell him on a fake job pitch. However, Damien's debut will come with a mystery and plenty of questions. Is this even the real Damien? There's a chance this is a fake-out if Nathan Owen's character is someone else who's simply using Damien's name. Audra Charles might have a past romantic connection to this guy since Y&R spoilers allude to her buried secrets coming to light. Whatever the case, Nate and Audra will discover a significant clue about Nate's half-brother, so Amy Lewis will get updates on something shocking soon enough. During the week of January 13 to 17, Nick's search efforts will intensify. If Phyllis ends up being held hostage along with Sharon, this could turn into a double rescue with Nick playing hero for them both eventually. The news of Jordan and Ian's twisted connection also seems poised to explode, so that could derail their fragile alliance. Ian and Jordan could easily turn on each other, especially after he realizes she's botched the plan once again. Claire and Maria Copeland will definitely get thrown into some turmoil as Jordan and Ian scramble to save what's left of their schemes. At some point in the coming weeks, it looks like Ian will face a gunshot wound during another Newman Ranch showdown, so that's something that'll be worth the wait. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some jaw-dropping drama is coming up, so we'll bring you predictions on all the villainous mayhem. We'll have other terrific Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your one-stop Y&R source. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 6, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Jordan to go rogue. Victor Newman tells Michael Baldwin to gain intel about Ian Ward. Speaking of Ian, he shows up in Nikki Newman's living room. Also, Nate Hastings meets his half-brother. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Monday, January 6, Ian Ward's face-off. Lie and R spoilers for Monday, January 6 reveal that Victor summons Ian after talking to Nick Newman and Faith Newman. It is late at night when Victor and Ian have a heated conversation. During this chat, Ian gets an ultimatum. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman has a rude awakening. Plus, Victoria Newman helps Cole Howard with a difficult decision. Lie and R spoilers, Tuesday, January 7. On Tuesday, January 7, Victor will promise to protect Nikki at all costs. This is probably the point in the weekly preview clip that shows a sleepy Nikki coming downstairs to see Ian in her living room. Plus, Nick desperately searches for a missing Sharon. Elsewhere, Phyllis Summers and Billy Abbott strike a deal. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Wednesday, January 8, Devin Winters strategizes. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, January 8 reveal that Nate Hastings and Audra Charles discover an important clue. Chelsea Lawson gives Billy unsolicited advice. Also, Devin Winters strategizes with Lily Winters and Abby Winters. Lie and R spoilers, Thursday, January 9. On Thursday, January 9, Victor orders Michael to get intel on Ian. Nick takes matters into his own hands to save Sharon. Over in Los Angeles, Nate shares surprising news with Amy Lewis. In a weekly preview clip, Nate sits down with Damien. Apparently, Nate gave a cover story about wanting to talk to Damien about a job. While Nate tries to cover, Damien seems suspicious about the cold call job offer. So where does Nate take the conversation from here? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Friday, January 10, Jordan goes rogue. On Friday, January 10, Jordan goes rogue. Meanwhile, Nikki worries about Claire Grace Newman's safety. Plus, Jack Abbott urges Kyle Abbott to come clean. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 6, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. For the Monday, January 6 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Ian Ward turning up at Victor and Nikki's house while Sharon's brood continues to panic. Scenes from Genoa City. Sharon is missing and her family is on edge. Mariah, Tessa, and Faith gather at the cottage and wait for word. The clock is ticking and they know every second counts, especially if Ian Ward is involved. As for Ian, we'll get to see flashbacks from when he met Jordan and how he roped the baddie into his own web of villainy. It's not like Aunt Jordan was a tough nut to crack. She hates the Newmans just as much than Ian. Revenge is the name of her game, and having a partner in crime is the icing on the cake. Will reality strike Ian right in the face when Victor has him summoned to the ranch? Ian is tough, but Victor has proven time and time again he's tougher. He's not intimidated by the likes of Ian Ward, and he's certainly not going to let this preacher get under his skin or manipulate him. Ian's looking pretty smug, though. Victor and the Newmans better keep their eyes wide open around this baddie. Ian has more than a few tricks up his sleeve, and he's a king at playing the game. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, January 6 tease that Ian Ward and Jordan are on a roll when Ian is dragged off to the ranch for a face-off with Victor Newman. He had to know this was coming. The prison system let Ian go, but Victor doesn't want him anywhere near his family. Victor orders Ian to leave town or face dire consequences. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor lays down the law. Ian tries to play his contrite game with Victor, who isn't having it. When Nikki Newman hears the kerfuffle, she enters the room to find monster Ian. She lets out a gasp of shock and wants to know what in the world is going on. Could this send Nikki back to the bottle? Is no one happy that Ian is free? Ian's release and promise to be changed make Nikki livid, and Victor swears that Ian will never hurt his family again. Too late. Y&R spoilers. Ian has hurt the Newmans. Ian had Jordan kidnap Sharon Newman and is keeping her hostage. The plan is to eliminate the perky blonde and frame her arch-enemy Phyllis Summers for the crime. Y&R's preview video for the week of January 6 to 10 shows that Sharon is moved from the sleazy no-tell motel room and put in a dank and dark place. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nikki is appalled. This sounds like it could be the sewer system, where Sharon killed Cameron Kirsten wherever she is. Jordan might have to keep chloroforming Sharon to keep her quiet. At one point, Jordan reveals that her next stop is the bottom of the river. Before that happens, the Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Ian and Jordan have more havoc to cause in Genoa City. Tell us why, and our fans, who do you want to give these two rascals their comeuppance? Or do you think they will eventually escape and live to fight another day? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor Newman will keep his guard up when it comes to Ian Ward, since he knows what this villain is capable of. Victor may get a clue about Ian's accomplice, since his security guy's going to follow Ian and could catch a glimpse of a woman entering his motel room. Of course, Victor won't immediately suspect that woman is Jordan since he believes she's in prison. As far as Victor knows, Jordan is still serving her time at a maximum security facility that she can't escape from. However, Ian managed to use his resources and swap in someone who was willing to take Jordan's place. There was a dying woman who needed money for her family, so it all worked out for Ian to free Jordan and kick off this alliance. During the week of January 6 to 10, Victor could get a step closer to uncovering the whole story. Y&R spoilers say Victor will deliver new orders to Michael Baldwin, who'll be tasked with finding out more info about Ian's actions since his release. Michael will launch an investigation and may learn that Ian served as a prison chaplain at the same facility Jordan was sent to. That alone could set off alarm bells, so Michael may dig into this even further. The prison may assure Michael that Jordan is accounted for, but he may still feel like something fishy is going on. Michael could at least hope to grill Jordan and find out more about her interactions with Ian. That could lead to Michael paying Jordan a visit and figuring out that Ian arranged an imposter. Even if this woman is a doppelganger, it probably wouldn't take Michael long to realize she's not the real deal. Michael may deliver some stunning news to Victor and enrage him by revealing that Ian broke Jordan out of the slammer. That could double Victor's fury and leave him determined to take both Ian and Jordan down for good. Based on our Y&R predictions, Michael could play a key role in how Jordan's escape gets exposed, so stay tuned to see if he'll ultimately give Victor updates on this twist. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will show off some fierce determination against his enemies in the coming episodes, so stay tuned. Is where you want to be for sizzling Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so stop by frequently for more details. Sharon Newman is in serious trouble on the Young and the Restless. With Aunt Jordan and Ian Ward plotting against her, things have gone from bad to worse. First, they nearly framed her for murder, and now they've kidnapped her outright. Sharon's life is hanging by a thread, and her loved ones will need to act quickly to save her. Being held captive by two people as dangerous as Ian and Jordan is terrifying. Sharon is a fighter, and viewers can expect her to resist with everything she has, but the odds are stacked against her. Alone and outnumbered, Sharon's survival will depend on her ability to hold on until help arrives. Fortunately, her family and friends won't waste time once they realize Sharon is missing. They'll rally together to find her, from organizing a search to preparing for a confrontation with her captors. Sharon's loved ones will stop at nothing to bring her home safely, Who will be Sharon's hero? The question on everyone's mind is who will be the one to rescue Sharon. Could it be Mariah? Maria has always been fiercely protective of her mother, but with Ian also targeting Tessa and baby Aria, Maria has her hands full. Her priority might be keeping her own family safe, which could make it difficult for her to focus on rescuing Sharon. Nick to the rescue? Nick Newman seems like a natural choice. His love for Sharon has never wavered, and he could go to great lengths to ensure her safety. With Victor's resources and influence backing him up, Nick has the tools to mount a strong rescue mission. However, Nick's sense of morality might limit his ability to deal with two dangerous criminals like Ian and Jordan. Adam's time to shine? Enter Adam Newman, the wild card in Sharon's life. Adam has a dark side that makes him uniquely suited to deal with villains like Ian and Jordan. He knows how to outsmart dangerous people and isn't afraid to cross ethical lines to get the job done. If Adam takes charge, fans could witness a dramatic rescue that showcases his cunning and resourcefulness. His ability to outplay Ian and Jordan might even lead to a permanent end to their reign of terror. For longtime fans of The Young and the Restless, Adam rescuing Sharon could mean more than just her safety. It could reignite their romance. Sharon and Adam share a complicated history, but moments like these have the potential to bring them closer together. If Adam saves her, their bond could deepen, setting the stage for a romantic reunion that fans have been hoping for. What's next for Sharon? As Sharon's situation grows more perilous, viewers are left guessing who will step up to save her. Whether it's Nick, Adam, or someone unexpected, one thing is certain: Sharon's loved ones won't rest until she's safe. So, I and our fans, this storyline promises plenty of drama, action, and emotional twists. Who do you think will be Sharon's hero? Share your thoughts as we watch this intense saga unfold. The Young and the Restless spoilers, a twist in the shadows. A cry for help. Nick pulled Sharon into his arms, his heart pounding with relief as the reality of her rescue began to sink in. Sharon's frail body trembled against his, and he whispered softly, "You're safe now. I've got you, thank God." Sharon clung to him, her eyes brimming with tears. "I thought I'd never see you again," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Thank you, Nick. Thank you for finding me." But just as they began to gather themselves, a faint, desperate cry echoed through the house. The voice was weak, barely audible, but unmistakable in its plea. Nick froze, his ears straining to catch the sound again. "Did you hear that?" he asked, pulling back to look at Sharon. Sharon's face paled. "No," she said quickly, shaking her head. "Nick, let's go. We can't stay here. It's too dangerous." But there it was again, a faint, agonized call for help coming from somewhere deep within the house. Nick's brow furrowed. "There's someone else here," he said firmly. "I can't leave without checking." "Nick, no." Sharon grabbed his arm, her grip surprisingly strong despite her weakened state. "We've done enough. Please, let's just leave before anything else happens." Nick hesitated, torn between Sharon's plea and his instincts. But the voice, the desperate, haunting voice, cut through his doubt. He couldn't ignore it. "I have to find out who it is," he said, determination hardening his features. "I'll be quick. Stay here and stay safe." Before Sharon could protest further, Nick moved toward the sound, his flashlight cutting through the darkness of the decrepit house. Into the depths. The cries grew fainter as Nick searched, but they seemed to come from below. He found a door in the corner of the room, its hinges rusted and its edges splintered. When he pulled it open, a waft of damp, stale air hit him, accompanied by a sense of foreboding. The staircase beyond was steep and narrow, leading into what appeared to be a basement or cellar. Nick swallowed hard, gripping the banister as he descended. Each step creaked ominously beneath his weight, the sound echoing in the oppressive silence. "Hello," he called, his voice steady despite the fear creeping into his chest. "Is someone there?" The faint cry came again, guiding him deeper. "Help, Please." As he reached the bottom, his flashlight revealed a grim scene. The walls were damp and lined with mildew, and the air was suffused with the scent of decay. Jordan's return to Genoa City was fraught with deception, chaos, and violence. Though she managed to evade capture time and again, her desperate schemes were destined to unravel. Jordan sought refuge in a decrepit warehouse on the city's outskirts, hoping to regroup and devise her next move. However, her paranoia led her to tamper with the building's electrical system in a reckless attempt to set a trap for her pursuers. The haphazard wiring created a dangerous situation Jordan vastly underestimated. Nikki's courageous intervention. After receiving an anonymous tip, Nikki Newman confronted her fears and went to the warehouse to protect her family. The tension was palpable as Nikki faced Jordan, pleading with her to surrender. But Jordan's escalating desperation led her too close to live wires. Despite Nikki's warnings, Jordan made fatal contact with the exposed electrical panel. A tragic accident. In an instant, a blinding flash of light and the crackling surge of electricity marked the end of Jordan's life. Horrified but unable to change the outcome, Nikki called the authorities and honestly recounted the incident. The police ruled Jordan's death an accident caused by her reckless actions. Secrets from beyond the grave. Jordan's death did not end her influence. Letters she had written before her demise began to surface, exposing buried truths about Genoa City's residents, including explosive allegations against newcomers Claire and Cole. The revelations hinted at their murky pasts and raised questions about their true motives in the city. Claire and Cole under scrutiny. Claire dismissed the letters as lies, while Cole's evasiveness only deepened suspicions. As Genoa City's residents demanded answers, Victor Newman and Devon began investigations, determined to uncover the truth. Nikki's struggle for closure. While others focused on Jordan's secrets, Nikki wrestled with guilt over her inability to prevent the tragedy. Confiding in Sharon, who had survived her ordeal with Jordan, Nikki sought solace. Sharon reminded her that some people can't be saved, no matter how hard others try. A legacy of chaos. Jordan's actions left a lasting impact on Genoa City, sparking new tensions and unresolved questions. The Newman family, though relieved by her demise, remained on edge as the revelations from her letters threatened to disrupt the fragile peace. As Genoa City grapples with the aftermath of Jordan's death, the secrets she left behind promised to shake alliances, deepen mistrust, and ignite fresh drama. Is Jordan's babysitting job for Sharon Newman gearing up for an electrifying twist? The young and the restless spoilers tease that Ian Ward is busy opening a can of worms for Victor Newman. In the meantime, Jordan moves Sharon to a familiar yet eerie hostage setup, which gives us a déjà vu. Who knows, a high-voltage sign hanging above might end up sealing Jordan's fate. Check out all the latest juicy gossip below. The young and the restless spoilers. Jordan moves Sharon to a deadly location. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Jordan is stuck playing a reluctant babysitter for Sharon. Meanwhile, his partner in crime is heading to the Newman ranch to butt heads with Victor and Nikki. That leaves Jordan with a solemn duty of hiding Sharon. The spot? The poor victim finds herself whisked away from that dingy motel to a new hideout. We bet you know this one. Remember that creepy sewer system from Sharon's showdown with Cameron back in 2023? Interestingly, it looks like the CBS soap has revamped the old set with a few tweaks. Moreover, it might double as a damp, dungeon-like basement this time. Either way, Sharon is in for another nightmare. Now, here comes the most nail-biting part. In the preview for the upcoming week, a high-voltage warning sign steals the spotlight. Is this a fatal clue about what's to come? If Sharon manages to get rid of the chloroform haze, she might launch an attack on Jordan. Further read, Billy plans to seal the deal with Sally, ring incoming. Is Jordan about to get electrocuted? Just imagine if Nick's old flame sets herself free and confronts Jordan with all her might. She could very well shove the lunatic into the danger zone in the heat of the moment. One wrong move, and oops, Jordan could end up fried. However, this very shot at freedom doesn't guarantee a clean escape for Sharon. We're rooting for her to make a break for it and flip the script on these tormentors. Ian and Jordan will drag Phyllis Summers into their mess as if this drama wasn't enough. Still, we remain dead serious about her biggest rival in Geno City, whose life hangs in the balance. Please, no electrocutions for Sharon. Stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more exclusive tea on the Young and the Restless spoilers. Will these sizzling electric signs ensure Jordan's shocking yet deserving end? Share your views with us in the comments down below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 6, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Jordan to go rogue. Victor Newman tells Michael Baldwin to gain intel about Ian Ward. Speaking of Ian, he shows up in Nikki Newman's living room. Also, Nate Hastings meets his half-brother. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Monday, January 6, Ian Ward's face-off. Y&R spoilers for Monday, January 6 reveal that Victor summons Ian after talking to Nick Newman and Faith Newman. It is late at night when Victor and Ian have a heated conversation. During this chat, Ian gets an ultimatum. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman has a rude awakening. Plus, Victoria Newman helps Cole Howard with a difficult decision. Y&R spoilers, Tuesday, January 7. On Tuesday, January 7, Victor will promise to protect Nikki at all costs. This is probably the point in the weekly preview clip that shows a sleepy Nikki coming downstairs to see Ian in her living room. Plus, Nick desperately searches for a missing Sharon. Elsewhere, Phyllis Summers and Billy Abbott strike a deal. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Wednesday, January 8, Devin Winters strategizes. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, January 8 reveal that Nate Hastings and Audra Charles discover an important clue. Chelsea Lawson gives Billy unsolicited advice. Also, Devin Winters strategizes with Laylee Winters and Abby Winters. Y&R spoilers, Thursday, January 9. On Thursday, January 9, Victor orders Michael to get intel on Ian. Nick takes matters into his own hands to save Sharon. Over in Los Angeles, Nate shares surprising news with Amy Lewis. In a weekly preview clip, Nate sits down with Damien. Apparently, Nate gave a cover story about wanting to talk to Damien about a job. While Nate tries to cover, Damien seems suspicious about the cold call job offer. So where does Nate take the conversation from here? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Friday, January 10, Jordan goes rogue. On Friday, January 10, Jordan goes rogue. Meanwhile, Nikki worries about Claire Grace Newman's safety. Plus, Jack Abbott urges Kyle Abbott to come clean. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of January 6, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Tessa Porter didn't know that Reverend Warren was Ian Ward, but she knows now. The deep chill she felt following her quick recovery from being drugged by him included multiple family members rushing to her side. Ian didn't anticipate Maria Copeland arriving while propping Tessa up. That happened after he gave Society's manager an extra inhaler. Viewers know that Ian used a momentary opportunity to pour a drug into Tessa's water bottle. He did that when she stepped away to help customers after telling Ian that the restaurant was booked on New Year's Eve. While she didn't see him commit his latest crime, Abby Winters had to have a security camera fixed on the area where Ian was, right? The Young and the Restless spoilers, soapy evidence pushes the plot. Tessa, Mariah, Nick Newman or Faith Newman are sharp. Despite being jeered by Ian's return to Genoa City, Wisconsin, and purposeful interactions, one in that foursome has to think about modern security. Maria and her twin sister, Cassie Newman, were born approximately 3 decades ago. Restaurants had video security systems back then when VHS tapes were standard. Today's digital systems are far superior, providing wide-angle, zoom-in capability that should disprove Ian's boasts about being reformed. If viewers don't see this common-sense request explored or learn that society's video system didn't record Ian's exact moves, then this storyline will be punted rather than pushed. My and our spoilers. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman is tied up. All the drama involving Tessa and the arrival of Mariah, Nick, and Faith caused a distraction. Sharon Newman's absence wasn't initially noticed, but Maria noticed that her mother wasn't present long after the New Year's Eve festivities calmed past the loud stroke of midnight in this Midwestern city. Sharon was in the parking lot, ready to join everyone inside at Society when Jordan Howard rendered her unconscious and then transported her to GC's outskirts. It was sad to see Sharon's face taped and her hands bound, but that's what Ian told Jordan to do, and she complied. The young and the restless spoilers, Victor Newman enters the frame. Nick warned Ian. However, Victor Newman will raise the threat level to its maximum altitude. Victor won't possibly allow Ian to roam the streets unimpeded, especially after it's realized that Sharon is missing. This mystery's elements will become apparent now that Ian is back in case his character is missing. Nick suspected that something was off with Sharon's medication. Now, her absence on New Year's Eve will signal that dark forces set her up for Heather Stevens' murder. Malevolence comes in the form of 2 people, Ian and Jordan. They intend to exact revenge to the end in GC, though they, not the Newmans, are likely doomed. Tracy Abbott, a pivotal character in The Young and the Restless, has lived through some of the most dramatic and scandalous moments in Genoa City over the years. Her life has been filled with love, heartbreak, and family drama, making her one of the most complex figures on the show. Let's dive into some of the most famous scandals and controversies surrounding Tracy Abbott that have shaped her character and the Abbott family dynamics. First, Tracy's love life has been a roller coaster of emotional ups and downs. One of her most notable relationships was with Brad Carlton. Their on-again, off-again romance was full of passion but marred by betrayal and heartbreak. Brad's infidelity and their constant misunderstandings caused a lot of tension, especially with Tracy's family, who often questioned her choices. This turbulent relationship left a lasting impact on Tracy as she struggled to find happiness in her romantic life. Another scandal that rocked Tracy's world was her affair with a man from her past, Beau. The secret relationship she had with Beau created tension within the Abbott family, particularly with her sister Ashley, who felt betrayed by Tracy's actions. This affair stirred up a lot of family drama and made Tracy's personal life a topic of gossip in Genoa City. Tracy also had a complicated relationship with her father, John Abbott. Although she was close to him, there was always a sense of favoritism toward her siblings, especially Jack. Tracy often felt like she was in the shadow of her more successful brothers and sisters, which created a sense of resentment and tension within the family. Her struggle to find her place in the Abbott family legacy was a constant source of inner conflict, making her life even more complicated. Her battle with alcohol addiction was another scandal that shook Tracy's world. This personal struggle affected her relationships and her career as she tried to balance her desire to be successful with her need for help. The addiction storyline brought Tracy to a low point, but it also highlighted her resilience as she worked to rebuild her life and regain control over her future. One of the more intense moments in Tracy's life was her involvement in a murder mystery. She became entangled in a case that put her in the spotlight, forcing her to confront dark secrets and uncover the truth. Her role in the investigation made her a key figure in the scandal, and raised questions about her own involvement in the situation. Tracy's relationship with her sister Ashley was another source of drama. As Ashley's professional success continued to soar, Tracy often felt overshadowed, leading to a rivalry between the two. Their strained relationship added another layer of complexity to Tracy's life as she struggled with her feelings of inadequacy and her desire to prove herself. Finally, Tracy's life has been full of family secrets, some of which were kept hidden for years. These secrets, when revealed, caused major disruptions in the Abbott family, leading to a series of shocking revelations. The truth behind these secrets had a lasting impact on Tracy and her family, forcing them to confront their past and the choices they had made. Through all of these scandals and controversies, Tracy Abbott has proven to be a resilient and multidimensional character. Her struggles with love, family, addiction, and career have made her one of the most fascinating figures in The Young and the Restless. Her story continues to captivate viewers, and as Tracy navigates the ups and downs of her life, one thing is clear. Her journey is far from over, and there are always more twists and turns to come in her complex and dramatic life. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers may come face to face with the woman who nearly caused her to lose her life. Jordan was the one who ran Phyllis off the road, so the two of them could be on another collision course now. Phyllis recently went for another drive and had a memory flash that allowed her to see the other driver clearly. As a result, Phyllis admitted to Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Summer Newman that it definitely wasn't Sharon Newman. There was an older woman with wavy hair and glasses behind the wheel of that truck instead. What happens if Phyllis bumps into that woman while a disguised Jordan is roaming around town? Jordan might have that same disguise on when she comes face to face with Phyllis. It's easy to imagine Phyllis flashing back to that night again and hurling accusations, especially if she sees Jordan getting out of that familiar truck. I and our spoilers say Jordan will stash Sharon in what appears to be the sewer system instead of dumping her in the river like Ian Ward wants. It'll be a last resort strategy for Jordan in case Ian doesn't come through on his part of their partnership. However, other Young and the Restless spoilers point to Jordan making yet another rogue move later in the week. Could that involve what Jordan might do after a run-in with Phyllis? It's easy to imagine Phyllis grabbing her phone to call the cops and getting knocked out on the spot. Jordan might drag Phyllis down to the sewer system as well and lock her up alongside Sharon. Based on my and our preview info for 2025, Sharon and Phyllis will get stuck in a situation where both their lives are at stake. It'll leave these foes in a tight spot that makes them reconsider their relationship and perhaps realize they must become allies. That certainly could fit for a scenario where Jordan holds Phyllis hostage with Sharon and they have to team up on an escape. Whatever the case, the fact that Phyllis now has a description of the hit-and-run driver is significant. It could lead to Phyllis having a shocking encounter with disguised Jordan and landing in some trouble as a result. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis has some new jams ahead of her, so stick with us for more predictions on all the action and updates on any bad news that's looming. We'll have other fantastic Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your favorite hotspot. If anyone can stop Ian and Jordan's reign of terror, it's Victor. And in this week's video preview for The Young and the Restless, it looks like that's exactly what he intends to do. Plus, the search for the much-discussed Damien leads Nate to the doorstep of a handsome young man who may or may not be the person he's been looking for. Having looked high and low for Damien, this week we'll find Nate taking a meeting with a young man who notes it's not every day he gets a cold call offering him a job. Not to mention a company exec flying out to meet me, he adds. Nate's response? When I see someone I like, I don't waste time. Could this be his half-brother? Elsewhere, the latest plot put in motion by Ian and Jordan continues to unfold. You'll recall that while everyone was distracted by the scene Ian caused at Society, Jordan managed to catch Sharon unawares. Now, Sharon is at their mercy as the wicked do scheme to destroy Sharon's life by framing her for a crime that has yet to be committed, Phyllis murder. So it is that this week, Jordan tells an unconscious Sharon that she should be grateful she's not at the bottom of a river, at least not yet. Will the beleaguered blonde end up, just like Heather, tossed over a bridge into the water below? Desperate for help after the police bought Ian's story about being a reformed man of the cloth hook, line and sinker, Nick turned to his dad. Which leads to the shocking moment in which Nikki comes downstairs to find her husband standing in the living room with a man who slowly turns around and reveals himself to be none other than Ian. What the hell is he doing here? She demands. Is this simply a nightmare, or has Nikki come face to face with the man who once terrorized her? It is that time of year again, and we want to know who your favorite actor is on The Young and the Restless. Here is our picks for the year. Let us know who your favorite is. The Young and the Restless spoilers: Eric Braeden, Victor Newman, the patriarch of the Newmans. Victor believes that he has to protect his family at all cost. However, Victor often crosses the line and interferes when he should simply mind his own business, something that is not about to happen. Victor recently went after his daughter's ex-husband because he cannot let go of. Victor doesn't care who he hurts as long as he gets his way. Victor doesn't believe his kids and think for themselves. By and are spoilers: Joshua Morrow. Nick Newman is a man that tries to keep everyone in his family happy, no matter who he hurts in the process. Nick is caught between Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. Phyllis tried to tell Nick that Sharon was after her. However, Nick and Chance Chancellor both thought she was lying. Nick now believes that Sharon is being framed. Will this be the end of Nick's relationship with Phyllis, or will he prove her wrong? The Young and the Restless spoilers: Michael Mealer. Kyle Abbott has been through a lot this year. Kyle's mother fired him. Victor Newman has used him. Kyle doesn't feel that he can trust his father. Kyle is caught between cousins, Summer Newman and Claire Newman. Kyle knows that Summer has issues about her cousin's past, and he doesn't care. Kyle has forced Summer to deal with Claire as their son's nanny, and now she is going to work with her grandmother Nikki Newman instead. I and R spoilers: Connor Floyd. Chance Chancellor doesn't seem to know exactly what he wants to do. Hans stopped being a cop to go to work at the family company. Now Chance is back at the GCPD and working cases again. That doesn't mean that he did real justice for Heather Stevens or Phyllis. Will Connor lose Summer over not believing her mother? Does Chance still have feelings for Sharon after all? The Young and the Restless spoilers: Sean Dominic. Nate Hastings. Former doctor of Victor Newman, Nate now works in business with his family. Nate is in a relationship with Audra Charles. Nate wants more, but Audra doesn't believe in love or anything of the sort. Nate is trying to find his half-brother that he didn't know existed.